than empty space with panels. The object gets smaller as it goes away. Just like
Yeah,
the
but
room gets appears to get smaller with distance, the object does the same thing out in the open.
I agree with that. But before we even get there, Leflin, I just want you to walk with me, man. And if you're not willing to do that, that's fine. We can, we don't have to talk about it. I'm just trying to get you to understand what I think so we can have an understanding. Um, so yeah, I mean the convergence is still going on, even though you can't see it happening. Just like in the long hallway, it's still going on when you go out to the beach and you're making that, and you're looking out at the horizon. Uh, so yeah. If you do put, like, say, a boat on that bottom panel and move it away from you, and as distance increases, with that convergence going on, what do you think would happen with that boat as it moves away from you? Because if you didn't have that bottom panel and it was all atmosphere and that boat moved away from you, yes, it would get smaller with distance, and that's it. But because there are other things going on that we got to take account of, that's not all that happens. I think the bottom would disappear first, left lane,
I understand that. I just don't see how.
because everything's converging. But let's call the top panel A. You got B and C to your left and right, and D's the floor, right? It's still happening. It's just C, B, and A are translucent. You can see through it, but it's still, all that atmosphere is still stacking up and converging to that focal point. And
But
then the bottom panel is doing the same thing, but you can't see through the bottom panel. So something happens.
with this ship should obey the laws of perspective, like we talk about, half the size would double the distance. And that big old ship could get far enough away that it would diminish in size evenly, side to side, top to bottom. I should be able to see the whole ship until I can't see the whole ship. It
Yeah,
shouldn't disappear bottom up.
if your bottom panel was atmosphere too, and that ship moved away from you, that's what would happen. But prospectively, because that bottom panel you can't see through, and the other three you can, something funny happens at the horizon, which we haven't even defined what a horizon is. But I'm not gonna. We don't have to. But it's all perspective, man.
Yeah, the horizon, they say, is where the sky apparently meets the ground. To me, it's the point at which I can no longer see the surface due to the geometry of the surface curving away. That's it.
If I may, it also has to do with the angle that you're looking at. You're closer to the floor, that bottom panel, that D panel. You're closer to that than you are the top panel A. And so there's more information from the top coming down because you got to think your angle is squished. That's why it disappears bottom up, is because you're closer to the floor. If you were closer to the top, say you were at a higher angle, it is possible that it might disappear from the top up because there'd be less information from A if you were, say, closer to the sky. But you got to take that into account as well, that it's the angle from which you're viewing it. You're only 6 feet off the ground. There's a lot of things that can get in the way. You know, it's kind of like sticking your finger in front of your face. You can make the whole sun disappear, right? It's because, like, size, angular size of things plays a big part in all of that.
So everything will disappear bottom up, is because that's the only panel that you can't see through is that D panel.
Well, and also because you're closest to that panel. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. Yep, yep.
yeah. It's all perspective.
And Moyak know that, man. He been saying that half the distance, twice the size, like that's it and that's all. It's not it and all, man. He know that.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't know. It's certainly not all of it. There's a whole lot that goes into all that. But it's not hard to understand either.
If I could hypothetically fly to the horizon, eye level with it, if I could Superman and fly to the horizon, my fist wouldn't get wet when I got there. It would just be a new horizon when I got there.
Which means what we're seeing isn't actually there, which would mean light would have to take a curved path, which would mean the FE has to take into account of that. Like work needs to be done. Someone needs to write something down and say this is how it works. Just like we have in concave Earth, light's bending up system wide, and it accounts for literally half the model. It's
It's
clearly
not a question of
explained.
just.
It's clearly
It's not a
explained like
question of
this
just
is
making.
how it works. So I recommend FE does the same thing.
Yeah, you can just write some bullshit down on paper. It ultimately comes down to actually measuring it to see what's actually happening and where the actual position is. Just come up with some cockamamie shit and write it on paper. That's fine if you want.
And that's the standard for some people, I guess. You know what I mean? That's all they want.
Like we're trying to figure out which way something's bending. It's a measurement issue. It's not a let me think of an idea and write it down on paper issue.
Good thing about concave Earth is because it's a sphere, we can have some kind of gradient going towards the center. And system wide, north, south, everywhere, light would bend the same way. FE, unfortunately, is not going to have that easy of a time. So,
Yo, how does light bending make the water stick to the inside of a ball, bro? What are you talking about?
Water, never mind. It's never mind.
This guy's like, yeah, light bending explains our model. That's how we know water is above our heads right now. You're crazy, bro. Concave.
Yeah.
It's either stars beneath your feet or water above your head. Which one?
Are you talking about? So on the concave Earth, if I go straight up, then would I hit another country on the Earth? I think because I'm from India, if I go straight up, then I'll hit USA in the ceiling. Do anyone have any idea who came up with concave Earth? Is it new thing, like within the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, or it's very old theory?
Yeah, good question. I wonder when the first concave Earth was proposed.
Yeah, because it might be anti-flat earther. Like there might be some anti-flat earther scientist who, to mock flat earthers, he come up with the idea of concave Earth and spread it all over it like shit on the internet.
No, these things are old. A lot of these cosmologies are old. I would say the newest one is actually the globe.
How old concave is? That's the question. Do you have any evidence
God, a
for that?
couple hundred years at least. I mean, probably. I mean, you could make an argument it's probably older than that. It's got to be. The
Globe
globe is the newest thing in town.
globe is at least 2,500 years old. What you are talking about?
Yeah, no, the globe's maybe 200 years old.
No, there was
Maybe
a
200.
globe in
It's
antiquity.
gonna be
Yeah.
hard to substantiate 2,500 years ago. Anyways,
Greece.
like if you're looking for first-hand sources or like sources for that information, like good luck, man. Like if you want the writings of Aristarchus, that doesn't exist. Yeah.
No. I think Pythagoras' writings are there, and Aristotle also claimed the Earth is a globe. So we
Do you have
can
the
find out.
original writings of Pythagoras?
Like it's just like ancient history and other historians talk about him, like why Pythagoras believed the Earth is a sphere because it's of perfect shape or something. And
So then,
then
therefore, he meant that. Like, therefore, he definitely wrote that, or could someone have just lied about that?
I don't think so, but it's based on like you believe like Aristotle, right? Aristotle believed the Earth is a globe, but Aristotle was having a presupposed position because of Pythagoras and other people like Herodotus.
Yeah, can you
Because
substantiate Aristotle's existence?
why can't you? Because it's like
Because I can't
one of
find
the
anything from him. I can't find any of his original writings. I just
You
have other
can't find
people
any of
telling me
his
stories.
original writings. Art of Rhetoric, Nicomachean Ethics.
Does on original papyrus, you have that? You have copies of that?
Why do you need to have the exact manuscripts that he wrote on?
Oh, good. So I'm glad you guys all accept the scriptures then as being legit.
What?
Okay, so what evidence you want? Like other countries talking about Aristotle? Is it
Aristotle
all?
isn't making absurd claims.
Just imagine like other countries wrote about Aristotle, and you can cross check the references. There are like statues are available from old times and in old ancient history. Aristotle name and its work was there, so we can prove that Aristotle was a real figure, right?
Yeah, supposedly there were Hebrew scholars that were teaching in ancient Greece. So Greece would have been a civilization that around the same time as the Jews. So there are records of the Jews going to Greece to teach. So it is likely that the Greeks had some great thinkers like Socrates and others.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, Greek believed that the Earth is a globe. I don't have doubt for that. But the thing is, the globe idea was not that popular that people think, like not like laymen think, like because of the Ptolemaic model of geocentric Earth. So everyone in the Earth was believing that the Earth is a globe. I don't think so like that.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
think
they
so
should.
either. There appears to be a Greek flat Earth model. I'll see if I can post it so you guys can see. I don't know how true it is. It may have been from Wiki.
Greek flat Earth model. How does it look like? Maybe it might be ancient Greek flat Earth model. Can you can show it?
Yeah, I just took a screenshot. I'll see if I can find the original source for it. One moment.
It's looking like something eatable, like a pudding. Don't not looking like Earth at all. Just imagine, like the Earth is completely spherical here, just flat in the middle, and the whole Earth is a sphere. Hmm. I think I've seen that before.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the majority of the world's nations believed or had their own flat Earth stationary model. The Chinese to the Greeks.
Yeah,
It's
of
just when the
course.
Jesuits. Yeah, it's just when the Jesuits sent out to all nations to basically change the paradigm.
Yeah, yeah. Like how you know about the story of Jesuit? Is it open? Because I think like Jaren started that thing in 2016 or something. That it's all the Jesuits were the people who started the globe and who
Yeah,
propagated the.
yeah, it was outlined nicely in the documentary called Heliosorcery. Have you seen it, Newman?
No.
Okay, essentially it just sums up. It was a summation of the Reformation. So essentially, people found out that the Vatican were literally hiding the Bible for 1,000 years, and when the printing press changed that, they could no longer hide the Bible. People who worked for the Vatican, like one was Ignatius, yeah, I think he's the leader of the Jesuits. He went to the Pope supposedly and asked for permission and money, commission to infiltrate all aspects of society. And what they did was they would undermine the Bible. So whatever the Bible said, they would say the complete opposite. So now that people would say, "Oh, I don't believe the Bible anymore," right? And then they can control them still. I'll post the movie. Feel free to check it out. No rush.
Okay. Like I also want to see that movie, The Principal. I'm trying to watch that
Hey, The
movie
Principle,
since.
that's a good movie.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
good
trying to
movie.
watch that movie
Please say
from
the
last.
universe is flat, by the way.
Like I'm trying to watch that movie from last 4 years, but I never watched that. No, The Principal don't say universe is flat. It says it doesn't talk about the universe, I guess. It talk about the Earth being globe.
Yes, yes, they do. Actually, I'm not lying. I'm not lying at all. They actually do. They actually conclude that Earth is in the center of the universe, and they said that the universe is flat. That's what they say. They use those words. The universe is flat. Those are the words they use. I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true. I'm not about lying here. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
Jen.
the one that always mentions this documentary, by the way, The Principle. I'm always the one that directs people to go and watch it. And the other one, the backing up with that one, it's called Scientism 1 and Scientism 2. You need to watch those three documentaries and you'll come to an understanding that something is not quite right about the story we've been told about the Earth. So you need to watch not only Principle, but Scientism 1 and Scientism 2. And when I deliver it to this server, usually it's a gift pact. Those three together as a gift for those Globers who are still unsure. And Zesthetic, thanks for the beautiful review of the history that went by there. Thanks. And another thing, last thing, Copernicus back in when he died, 1543. Before he died, he didn't want to release his model of the solar system because it was a work in progress. Couldn't prove anything. Okay, that's why he didn't want it released. He didn't want to release it to the public, basically. But upon his death, the Jesuits took it and then they pushed it out there. And now everyone's believing in something that doesn't really exist as such. Okay, in actuality, now it's 482 years old at the moment and counting. 482 years.
Thank you, Jen. Absolutely. I actually watched The Principle before Flat Earth. That's what I didn't even know about Flat Earth before I watched The Principal. In fact, when The Principal was first online, you had to pay to rent it. It was like $2. And then I don't know if you guys remember, they actually removed it from YouTube for a while. But thankfully it's back.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I wasn't aware that you had to pay for it, but I've always had it for free. I watched it from like 2016, thereabouts, 2016, 2017, in that period there. I've had no problems. I've got it. I always post it in here when I feel like doing that, of course, because I've got to go into my library to get it. But yeah, it's a great documentary because they're arguing amongst themselves. They're trying to using hammer and tongs, get to the truth. But when they said the universe was flat, I laughed.
Jin,
Come on.
Jin, you don't try to listen. That's your problem, okay? So, like, you think,
Again, you've been warned. You've been warned about attacking certain your opponents. I'm not attacking you, am I? I'm not attacking you, Mr. Old Moon. Yeah. So don't be attacking me. Don't be doing that because it gets worse for you, not for me. Okay. Remember,
wait,
you're
so
coming
you're
from a
saying,
country where they
you're
can't build
saying,
bridges that safely for people to use, but yet they're telling us they've got satellites orbiting the moon. So please don't go down that road. Don't attack me at all. Attack your problem. The curvature of the Earth cannot be measured. The rotation of the Earth can't be detected. We are not hurtling through the universe at 19.2 billion miles a year, every year,
don't teach
times
Flat
your
Earth, bro.
age. And all the
Don't teach
stars, hang on,
Flat
and
Earth.
all the stars are in the same place. Okay, and in construction, nobody considers the curvature of the Earth, the rotation of the Earth when they operate their machines, weapons of mass destruction, etc., etc. You're the one with the problem because you're a glober. Thanks.
Okay, so like the thing you're just like so excited to show, like in the Principal movie, they say that the universe is flat. So, and you loved it because you got a new information. But for your kind information, the whole mainstream science in today's time, the whole mainstream science itself says that the universe is flat. But it's just you don't have any idea or knowledge about that, and that's why it's a new thing for you. And it's not a big.
Again, it's an attack on me, and I gleaned this knowledge. I said in 2016. Okay, 2016 was when I gleaned that knowledge. Okay, and I
What
self-admitted
you need
that,
to
ladies and
figure
gentlemen.
out
So
is
it's
where is
not that
the
I don't
South
know.
Pole?
I do. Hang on. You're now
Where
trying to
is
talk
the
over me now.
South?
Now you're trying to talk over me.
Where
So
is
one,
the
you
South
attack.
Pole?
Two, you're trying to overtalk
I
me.
need to
You're
talk
not
over
going to be
you
able to
because
do
you
those
don't
two
let
things.
anyone other talks.
You're
You
not going
don't
to be
let
able to do those
other
two
people
things, and
talk.
soon the moderators will kick in anyway. But ladies and
You
gentlemen,
don't let
I
other
did
people
admit
talk.
that I got this information in
You don't
2016,
let
and
other
I
people
laughed
talk.
because
You don't
Can we
let
you
go one
know
at a time?
we don't even know if
Please.
there is a
Yeah,
universe. That's the
hold on a
first thing.
second, Jen.
None of
Hold
us
on a
here know
Jen.
if there's a
Jen.
universe because we can't
Jen.
go there to confirm what they talk about. So
Jesus
everything they
Christ.
discuss is purely theoretical. Nothing is factual. Nothing is factual unless it's about the sun and the
All right,
moon
I guess I gotta
putting
fucking
above
mute
our
him.
head. That's true. But everything else is theory. Okay? And that's why I laughed because they're
I can't even
theorizing
fucking get
beyond
to him,
belief.
dude. Is there another moderator here that can help, dude? I'm having technical difficulties trying to mute these guys. Guys, we gotta
That's
go
okay.
one at a time. I don't know who the Indian guy was. I think that might be New Moon. New Moon, you clearly heard him talking. Let him finish, right? So we don't have to hear him all day long. Just let him finish his point, and then you can go. So that's that simple. So Jin pursued on anyway. So I'm gonna give the floor to you now, New Moon. Go ahead.
Extremist is asking, did I talk to Jin? Yeah, I have talked to him before many times. So, like, what to talk about him? Like, he's a guy who thinks that there is no sun in Antarctica for 24 hours, and the whole trip was fake. And because I believe the trip was genuine and there is a 24-hour sun, he calls me a glober. And all he is just the Dunning-Kruger effect and nothing else. He's just so confident, but his knowledge is very less. And I don't know, like, from where he learned his flat Earth stuff, and he never tried to critically think about that. The
Well,
arguments he had
maybe we can
are
try to not attack the individuals, even though we may feel tempted. We got to kind of like we got to have each other's back in one sense. But yeah, if someone says something that you think is wild or outlandish, we can just challenge the idea rather than the intention or the character of the person.
Yeah,
That's just
his intent.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah,
because
my
when I
intent, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here in person. I can tell you my intent. My intent is to learn the truth. Now, I found out in 2015, Boxing Day, December 26th, that the Earth indeed is not a globe. And I came to that realization within 5 minutes of watching one documentary, the beginning of Mark Sargent. Okay, and I said to myself, wow, I'm in error. I went on to watch 8 hours of other flat Earth content. Do you want to know what they were? Because it was a watershed moment in my life that I have it in my head. We've got Eric Dubay, 200 Proofs. We've got ODD, Flat Earth. We've got Celebrate Truth. We've got David Murphy, The Greatest Lie Ever Told. We've got Jeranism. Who else have I missed there? Someone else is missing in that group of mine.
Yeah,
But anyway,
Jeranism's not a
so I
flat
did-
earther. He's a turned glober.
No, yeah, but back in 2016 he was. You see, we came back to 2016.
Yeah, he wasn't that good. He's never
2015,
been that
sorry.
good though. Yeah, I would never
Yeah, but I
recommend
watched his
him. But
material. Yeah, I would because of the stuff that he did and the way he attacked NASA and everything else. But anyway, Jerem was there.
Maybe
as well.
you're talking
For
about
me,
Mark
anyway,
Sargent. Maybe
yeah,
you're
I got
Yeah,
this
Mark
confused.
Sargent. Thank you very much. Yeah, but these people were there at the beginning. This is how I became the flat earth. I'm telling you my route in. So by this point now, I'm thinking, wow, I've done 8 hours. It most certainly is definitely not a ball. I went upstairs and informed my family. But before doing so, because it was December 26th, students are coming back January 6th, I put on the board, Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back. What is the shape of the earth and how do you know? That was their first lesson on the way back in the new year. Okay. So I got my information from the flat earth content producers, and it was good information. And the thing about the one good thing about it was it all ties in with your experiences. It ties in with what you actually experience. So you're hearing it from the horse's mouth. That's me. That you yourself are carrying experiences of living on a horizontal stationary plane. You just don't realize it because you've been indoctrinated to think you're on a globe and you're not questioning it because you trust it. Finish. I'm finished.
Oh, so like in Flat Earth debate panel when we was debating about 5 or 6 days back, okay? So all I asked you why you believe in the Gleason's map, and you told me you believe in the Gleason's map because you purchased a T-shirt on what Gleason's map is printed. So you buy the T-shirt and there was a Gleason's map and you like that map, and because you have the T-shirt, so you think the Earth is like a Gleason's map. So that was a great thing you told me that day. And when I asked you
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's misinformation. Everybody knows me, and when people ask me about the Gleason's map, I say this to them. Hang on, I bought the T-shirt because I wanted to promote the flat Earth. That was years and years ago. Okay, because the Gleason's map was proven to be accurate at that time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll say it again. I will. If I had the chance, I would tattoo that Gleason's map on my chest and engrave it on my teeth because I decide whether or not the map is actually completely, utterly useless. And remember, we're using a globe that doesn't exist. We've been using the globe. So as far as I'm concerned, those who have been using the globe for many, many years are at fault as well here. And I like the map, number one. Number one, I like the map. Number two, I'm not finished with the map yet because Flat Earth Banjo has proven that flight routes work on the Gleasons. This is why I'm hanging on to the Gleasons. I like the map. I will always keep it. If it's completely useless, I'll still keep it as a souvenir. So that's the reason why. It's proving that the Earth is flying over the Earth is accurately from point A to point B.
Hold on, Jen. You would get a United Nations logo tattooed on you?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's literally the UN logo.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, United Nations. Yeah, I would do that just to prove a point. That's all. That I like the map. And I'm not embarrassed to walk around with the map on my chest.
That would just make people think you really love the UN.
Well, not necessarily, because when you then have a discussion, they'll think, oh, yes, it's a flat Earth map, actually. That's what you're looking at here. Yes, it's similar. It's not only the UN, it's the aviation, the Navy. They all have that logo, don't they? So there's something in that, by the way. But remember, and as for the 24-hour sun, as far as I'm concerned, we don't look to the sun itself to know whether or not the Earth is curving. That's the main thing. The Earth itself isn't curving in any degree or rotating. Okay, that's the thing here. 24
Hold
hour
on,
sun doesn't solve that problem of the curvature, does it? If the 24-hour sun exists, and we found out that they've been doing some optical buffoonery and trickery. Lots of videos are coming out, and if you go to the Flat Earth Banjo channel, Flat Earth Banjo channel, you will see lots of videos on how they have been faking it. It's all there. Sorry, that's how it is.
Oh, so they are faking it. Okay, okay, good, bro, good.
Are those organizations that you said that you listed off that are all like using that logo? You think those are honest and good organizations? Like,
That's a very good question.
UN is good.
Well, I mean, if they know the Earth is flat and they're not telling anyone, then they're keeping a secret of some kind. I mean, the United Nations, I term them as a dog without teeth. So they're all there, but they don't really help one another properly, the United Nations. So I have no faith and no trust in the organization at all.
would you prefer a one world government? Like, would you like that to be the case? That it's like one, one.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't want to be governed at all. So no, thank you.
Jin, have you ever debated someone on YouTube like Craig or McToon or Red Frederick or someone like famous YouTubers?
Yes, I've done the McToons, I've done Craig, and they've come on servers and we've debated. Yes, why?
Really? Okay, so
Yes,
can I
why?
see your debate with McToon?
Well, you go look for it. Go look for it. I don't have it on record, so you go look for it.
Jin has destroyed those guys multiple times, dude. Destroyed them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Jin, can you
So,
please destroy
thank you.
McToon again and in a debate,
No,
please?
why don't you go look for it? Just go look for it. Go find it. I'm not here to spoon feed you. Go and find it for yourself if you're interested. Okay.
Oh my God.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that might be very funny.
Yeah, that's right. Remember, you've been
That might
attacking
be
my
very
credibility
funny.
here. You're attacking my credibility and my integrity because I'm holding on to a map. Remember, we've been holding on to a globe that's been completely wrong, the wrong shape and everything. So leave me to do what I do and do best. And like I said, I'd walk around with the Gleason's map engraved on my teeth. So when I smile, you see the Gleason's map because it's me
Well,
who decides at the end of the day. Yeah,
Well, Jen, why don't you give them a little sample? Why don't you light them up with like a 7-hand flat smack from Shiva on flat Earth?
Hit him with the poop. Hit him with the poop in space.
Yeah, I mean, okay, if you want to go down that road, yeah. Like most people, when you hear about space travel and going to the moon and everything else, you never think about the toilet problem. You know, the call of nature. We need to go and do a piss, or we need to go for a number 2. Well, with the Apollo missions in particular, it's very, very problematic because hygiene is paramount in a situation where your spacecraft is in the vacuum of space, dealing with radiation, cosmic ray particles, micrometeorites, solar flares, the outgassing phenomena, the cold welding phenomena, these obstacles that were unsurmountable, but somehow NASA went in there anyway, okay? And you've got the call of nature. Now, the methodology that NASA employed for the astronauts to use was a hygiene nightmare. And in a place where hygiene has to be more hygienic than a hospital here on Earth. Because remember, you're in space. That's the first thing. Secondly, human plumbing system, that's your stomach, okay? Your buttocks and your stomach don't do well in a weightlessness environment. We get this knowledge from what's known as the Vomit Comet aircraft. The one where it takes the aeroplane, the Russian aircraft flies up, nose up sharply, and then noses down. And as it's nosing down, you experience a little bit of weightlessness floating around in there, yeah? And by the end of this 2-hour experience, you come down, some vomit in the plane, some vomit after the plane, okay? So that's a problem. Now imagine that, okay? And you've got to now contend with wanting to either do a poo or vomit time. Okay, and now the problem when you want to do a number 2 is you have to defecate into a plastic bag, transparent plastic bag with a gorilla type seal.
I wonder if they trained, taking poops without peeing for a while beforehand.
Yeah, they call it the
Exactly
number 1
my
problem.
sentiments as well. Yeah. There's another
Most people
case.
can't handle doing 2 things at the same time, especially peeing and pooing. So I don't know.
Then there's another case of NASA grossly misspending the taxpayers' money, okay, for the toilet on the supposed ISS. And I think it was in the late 2017, broke down. Okay, it was backing up, they said. It cost $19 million, that toilet, $19 million, right? And it was backing up and breaking down, okay? So they had to replace it with a new one. Now, the new one cost $23 million. And for the women, it was worse than the first one, the previous one, because the funnel that the women have to urinate in is it was smaller than the original one, or the previous one, should I say. And that would have been a hygiene nightmare, because if the woman misses, that means she's going to hit the jet stream of the urine is going to hit the funnel, spray everywhere. Now you've got urine floating around your ISS, whilst you're traveling at 17,500 miles around a ball that doesn't exist. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's another problem right there, yeah? But I'm not finished. The thing is, when you look at aircrafts, and we've all traveled, most of us, or some of us have traveled by aeroplane, that cubicle that you sit in, the price range starts from $250,000 to $500,000. Okay? 250 to $500,000. Yeah. So that's the cubicle. And then the plumbing takes it up to about $1 million total. Okay. So when you plumb it in. So if you can imagine, that system is more hygienic. You'd be sitting on your seat, vacuum it all down, sucking everything down as you do your business. More privacy, and you're in a cubicle. Less chance of things to go wrong. And at a fraction of the cost. A total would have been like you could have everything fitted in for $3 million. So you have 2 toilets, let's say, 2 or 3 toilets on the ISS if they were up there. Okay, but no, they have the one toilet, $23 million a pop. A lot of money, waste of money, and the hygiene is a nightmare, because you're urinating into for the men it's easy because they can put their penis in and aim, and that's not a problem for the men, but for the women, not good. It should have been a separate cup that follows the contours of the woman's body and docks perfectly, so there's no chance. It's a funnel, the same thing the men's use. So how do you hygienically use that? And all the women that I asked, can you use this and use it properly? They said no, they couldn't. And then you've got to sit on a square base to do your number 2. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. The hygiene is completely wrong in an environment where hygiene has to be more paramount than the hospital.
And there's absolutely no rebuttal to this.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There's no rebuttal to this at all. These guys, these Globers, just get real immature and start laughing and think this is like a non-serious conversation because it involves things that are very funny, no doubt about it. Farts, poop, and pee are very funny, comedic things. But if you take this argument seriously, nobody has a rebuttal to it.
Let's see if I can find a GIF of Mr. Hanky in an astronaut suit. Give me a minute.
It is very serious.
Because of the Antarctica explorers as well.
What's that, Extremistus? I don't know. I can't hear him. Maybe it's me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, sir. Yeah, we can hear you. No problem. Extremistus disappeared.
Jen, would they have to bring this? Would they have to bring this stuff back with them? Because like, if you go to Antarctica, you can't just leave that stuff there. So I imagine they don't want you just leaving that stuff in space or on the moon or anything. They got to bring all this back.
Actually, they said they left it on the moon. They left it on the moon, they said. They left all that stuff on the lunar surface. That's what they did. They left it on the lunar surface.
Wow, these guys are just polluting space if it actually existed. You guys don't even care about it. You're just putting your human feces into it. That's disgusting, man.
Buzz Aldrin actually took a piss in space. He took a piss on the moon. Okay? Obviously, he was in a diaper. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you got a diaper on? Now you've got to clean that up. Who wants poo on your butt cheeks? It's like a baby, you understand? Can you imagine the hygiene problem you've got to clean your buttocks completely clean? And you only get one sachet to do that with. One nappy wipe. One. But you got to save the weight, of course. You don't have the luxury of having many times. It's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absurdity beyond belief. Come on.
Yeah, I just posted the video where Buzz was talking about relieving himself on the moon.
Yeah, thanks,
What's
Dick. That's brilliant. What's up? How you doing?
What's up with the story about them saving some astronauts or something like that? They were stuck or something like that. Anybody?
Yeah, they got a plan to get them down.
Right. Yeah, they did that. I think that was yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, did they get them down yesterday?
Now, I think so. I think they did that. Yeah. But not that they were up there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this straight.
Yeah,
they were not
I
up
was
there.
gonna say. Wonder how Antarctica treated them.
I don't get the story. What they say? They were just stuck in orbit or something. Anyway,
the story is the previous capsule that was
the Boeing.
Yo,
Boeing,
can you hear me talking, Jin?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No problem. The story is the previous capsule that was supposed to bring them down malfunctioned. So they were stuck up there. Of course, I don't believe that, but that's the story.
I just found out it's highly illegal to have any specimens of moon rocks on your persons.
Well, let me get rid of mine quick. Oh, shit, I didn't know.
That's not a moon rock, that's crack.
Good one.
It's not as severe of a penalty, you know, you might want to pull that one.
Yeah, the tiniest little granule could get you locked up for a long sentence.
And what would be the reason? What would be the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen? Why would you go
They
to
don't,
jail for having a piece of moon rock?
because they don't want anyone examining it. In my opinion, because they could find out that it's actually a terrestrial rock instead of a celestial moon rock as claimed. That's my opinion.
Give you that
Or maybe a piece of
100%.
wood.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I'll give you
probably
a story.
petrified wood.
Yeah. I'll give you a true story. I'm sure some of you know about Bill Casing, okay? Bill Casing started off all this moon landing hoax because he worked for Rocketdyne and he knew that they didn't go to the moon because the rockets were totally destroying themselves. So he had no faith in that, okay? But when the moon rocks came back, he had a friend that asked Bill Casing to give him a hand, okay? Because he was trying to prove whether or not these rocks were real. Sorry, Bill Casing asked this guy. This guy said, you know what? We know that these rocks were irradiated on Earth, and the people at the highest level, that would be including the president, are keeping it a secret. Okay. After 2 weeks, that guy was killed for revealing the truth about the moon rocks.
They put more money. Yeah, they put more money into protecting the moon rocks and securing the moon rocks than they did in Fort Knox.
Funny how they didn't give the same protection to the tape, the data. Funny that, huh?
Oh yeah. The data telemetry. Nah, yeah. Who gives a shit about that? All we want is these moon rocks.